places like the National Trust, which are often seen as like old buildings and things, it's not always initially interesting for young people, but there's so many amazing stories in places like Peckover, but maybe we're just not telling the right ones in the right way, and we need young people to tell us what they're interested in and how we can engage with them, because it's really easy to lose sight of that.
The young people are the future of the National Trust, so if we can't engage with them and they don't care about places like Peckover wouldn't be here in the future. We know that we at the moment don't have a connection with young people, and it's so amazing to start to learn why. What are those barriers? What stops people coming to visit Peckover when they're younger?
It's really cool for some younger people to come and learn about stuff that they didn't know before, because younger people are now always on their Xbox or PS4 or stuff, when they can be exploring around different places.
Generally, I just look at the building and I don't even think about the people that would live there, but maybe I'd try to actually wonder who they were, what the backstory was.
The first week we worked at Peckover House and we created a phone adventure. It was a game that took an audience to the 300th birthday of Peckover House, and through exploring the building you discover different narratives in the house, finding the stories. We made this with the young people in response to what they were interested in at Peckover House, what were the stories that inspired them, and what did they want to talk to an audience about. So it was really about opening up the building.
I think it's changed the way I see heritage a lot, because it's more important and gives me a sense of curiosity, like I need to research something and look around, and that gives me my exploration sort of side.
Working with all the different young people across the sites and their creative talents, we had actors, we had graphic designers, poets, musicians, comedians, and I loved seeing how the creation of a game together can make use of all of these skills.
We got to not have a real tour, but do a sort of one that is led by us. So I think it's really nice to give the younger members of society that recognition.
Working on projects like Common Ground helps us understand what it is young people would find interesting and how we can therefore meet their needs better with these amazing places that we have.
We wanted to get Common Ground in, and when we heard about the project we were really excited, because from teenager onwards we struggle to engage them. We just don't have any kind of data whatsoever. We don't know what sparks their interest, what fires them up, what fires their imagination, and what they're passionate about.
We need young people to be interested in this landscape and connect to it and claim it as their own, so that it stays here for their future grandchildren. I think Common Ground, because they're the skilled people who know how to do this.
They're all really kind and they include everyone. They don't just go, oh no, you can't come in, like that. They're all like, oh come on, like that. They're all really nice.
The way they interact with the young people is just awesome. They really connect and have fun and really tap into that creativity and their perception and feelings.
We created a piece called The Causeway. It takes you out on a phone adventure through time to explore Flag Fen. You kind of uncover these stories of the local people who roamed that land, and then you discovered the young people in those places who would give you different games for you to work out what happened at Flag Fen. It was really a piece about exploring the different secrets from the past and how important the land affects us in the present.
I like the kind of living history element of it almost, like what conditions they lived in.
You can see how they saw it all those many years ago.
Me and another child made a game based off rock, paper, scissors that talked about climate change, and I think it was really fun.
I think the games are a really good way to do that because you're interacting with it. And in our case, it's about the planet heating up and it's about trying to prevent that from happening.
So this project is really important for us, especially putting that extra spin on it where you're looking at things like gaming and coding, because actually, you know, everybody finds their own way to connect with Flag Fen, and if that's how we can connect to a large portion of the next generation, then that's fantastic. That's something we're not doing, which we should be doing.
Preserve the past to help change the future. If we learn from the past, we can help build on the future.
Carlton Marshes is actually a really amazing place for a nature reserve. We're right on the edge of Lowestoft, but what we'd really like to see is more young people coming and really positively using the site and engaging with it, enjoying the wildlife, taking part in activities and feeling a sense of ownership of the reserve.
I've just really enjoyed working with my team of around 15 to make a game about the environment and heritage and such. It's been really fun. I got to pretend to be an ecologist and I got to say true fact about animals like the fen raft spider.
Carlton Marshes is home to a very, very rare bird in our piece who only lays one egg in its lifetime, and then the egg is stolen. And the young people have to go out and discover where is the egg by finding the tracker information. And they get to learn about ecosystems at Carlton Marshes and how they can balance those ecosystems in exchange for the codes, and then they obviously find the very special egg.
People might traditionally think that to engage with nature you have to come and do bird watching or something like that, or photography, but actually being able to come at it from an arts point of view opens it up to a whole new range of people, and I think this kind of strengthens what we're all trying to achieve.
I think it's fun knowing what kind of things you can do here, rather than just having like it's fun.
It's just really cool.
I think projects like Common Ground are significant because they make young people feel proud of where they are. I watched young people who had never really had a relationship with some of these sites by the end feeling so proud of what they've achieved.
I like nature a bit more than I used to because I didn't really go out to places like this, so I didn't really have quite an opinion.
I think it's just nice to come out into nature sometimes to get away from everything else. I don't know, it's just nice.
Instead of like staying at home and being bored, you could come out and enjoy yourself.
And nature, enjoy the nature that's around us.
What's your favourite part about making games?
Meeting some new teammates. It's fun and interactive and it's age ranges.
Interacting with people I don't know and like getting more confident. Everyone's really nice and welcoming. There's nothing really to be worried about, you can just be yourself.
It's a difficult one with natural heritage because I don't think that we really foster it in schools that much. It feels like as you become a teenager you move away from going to wildlife sites. It feels like maybe as a child go on bug hunts and do things like that, but there seems to be a bit of a sort of gap for the teenage years, and that's what we're kind of interested in solving by working with Common Ground actually.
The green spaces are not necessarily seen as wildlife havens by young people. They're not necessarily frequented by young people.
Yeah, because I thought it was like more of a concrete jungle, mainly in town. We don't really realise they're green spaces because most of what you see is the litter.
Common Ground has a really nice approach to engaging with young people and heritage, trying to bring it to life through different ways, not taking it away from being a sort of exclusive subject, if you like, and making it more accessible, making it appealing for young people.
It's a friendly experience.
It's like very welcoming and it's like quite fun and enjoyable.
This is a phone adventure that we made in response to Roydon Common near King's Lynn, and we created a piece that took people through the green corridors that linked King's Lynn. This was a piece about an old fox trying to make its way across town, and it was a phone adventure we made with some young people there to talk about green corridors, how important they are in urban areas.
The idea that you can be completely unaided, it doesn't take any of our staff, but people can still explore and have fun with the space as well. It's a lot more playful, and to be able to go on a journey where there's quite a different change of pace. We so enjoyed going to kind of a little corridor that was lovely and green and then playing hide and seek, or another place that was like a game of chase, and I wonder how we can replicate that to make people have fun in our spaces and not just a place to go with your binoculars to watch birds. And it's actually somewhere you want to explore and engage with. And that's what they've kind of opened our eyes to.
They've also learned a huge creative process about how you can take any site and within a few days you can use that site as the basis of inspiration to create art and to have a voice.
I like the games, but I think making the game was also pretty fun.
Seeing like all our ideas and stuff they put into a phone game.
And like slowly coming to life.
Yeah, rather than ignored.
What we were seeing as we were working with these young people was an opportunity for them to really say what they thought about these spaces, having the chance to really touch the items and think about these spaces in new ways, and to think about history in a way about how it relates to them. Some of them were responding to us about how they felt quite distant to these spaces, how sometimes they felt like they weren't for them, and this was a great opportunity to really give young people the agency to explore these lands and to use their own language in those spaces. And that's really important, how we make sure these spaces are accessible to young people going forward by using the language that they use in those spaces to bring other young people in. And that's what we discovered through making games and creating pieces of play with these young people. And we hope that that's going to be something really significant for these heritage sites as they go forward, how they can continue to engage young people in heritage through playful experiences.
It's important for everybody to engage with heritage sites because it helps us understand the world around us, where we've come from, and then where we're going in life.
And I feel like I'm connecting to my past. Yeah, that's heritage to me in a nutshell. Yeah, something that I feel I've got to protect. Yeah.
If we understand the past, it helps influence the future, and especially for young people because they are the future, and we were all young people once, I think.